Yo, what's up? My name is Flocka, and today I'm going to show you the perfect start to an expert mode playthrough. We're stepping away from the SMP content to take a stab at the Storm King in a brand new playthrough with brand new stakes. I want to show you guys how everything went down and how we came up with the design for this village. And if you want to watch it happen live and you want to see all the action, all you got to do is 1, subscribe to the channel, and 2, turn on those noties so you never miss another moment. Now don't forget to drop a like on today's episode because it's going to be electric. Let's get right in. Starting off by obviously creating the expert mode world. Here's the seed in case you guys want to play along with me. We loaded on in. Obviously the beginning was going to be much different. This time they gave us a hunting dagger, which was going to be very useful in grabbing these beginning tools. We went ahead and marked the storm village right away because that was going to be our first stop, and we harvested some stuff along the way. I saw a triggerfish and remembered I gotta get that return totem, otherwise I was going to be cooked. So we put it on, found a bus station along the way. I went ahead and harvested up some stuff from the houses. This is going to be the best way to get some of those materials like copper and planks right away. Fought ourselves a shell, and right next to that bus station decided to throw down some of these workstations. I'm talking about the stone breaker, the crafting bench, and the lumber mill. We were going to need all 3 of these in order to get ourselves the pickaxe right away. We didn't need something crazy, we just needed a granite pickaxe, so I went ahead and crafted one with the stuff that I had found along the way. Destroying this bus station was going to be perfect for our first mission, which was finding a place to stay. I was able to craft a copper pickaxe right away, which was perfect because now when we get to the storm village, we're going to be able to harvest up everything that is here, and that's exactly what we did, destroying all of the copper bins, all of the stuff on the tables. We even got some gems from some of the lights and a ton of copper from the inside of the building. This is highly recommended as one of the first things that you should do within your expert mode world. It's going to get you started with not only some of those good metals, but a couple of those high value gems that we're going to be using right away in this playthrough. So right away we go ahead and craft ourselves a spear. I'm going ruby, copper, and any claw. It doesn't really matter what you use for the pin, but this is going to be my first weapon to kind of get me around a little bit. So I went ahead and ventured off away from the storm village to find a perfect spot for the first village. Now we've got some serious goals for this expert mode playthrough. Not only are we trying to get all of the trophies, but we want to do some pretty cool builds with all of these places. So we threw down our village square and we went right to building, and this is a good opportunity to go through all of the goals on the expert mode playthrough. Here they are. Our goals for this playthrough are to defeat every single brute and every single golem. We want to catch every fish and meet every single villager. Not only that, I would like to get a level 10 village in every biome. That's the Grasslands, Desert, and Frostlands, as well as completing all of the Star Wars content, the Lost Isles, and then defeating the Storm King. This is going to be a 100% completion of the expert mode within Lego Fortnite, and it all starts here with this Grasslands base. So we went ahead and built ourselves up a little starting area, gave ourselves a bed, a desk, crafting bench, and a little bit of storage. But from here we were going to need a whole lot more, including all of the workstations. So we got to work leveling up the Wild Glen, even though I wish I could name it something else, but for now I guess it's Wild Glen. We gave it a couple levels and we went ahead and crafted ourselves a crossbow. We went ahead and used those cut amber that we had earlier, throwing on the copper for the stock. I wanted a strong crossbow because to get the gem cutter, we were going to need to defeat 3 brutes. Now, we definitely don't have enough arrows for this, so I gotta go ahead and make ourselves a farm. I just threw down 3 barns here at kind of like a nice little curve. Nothing crazy, we'll upgrade it a little bit later, but I need to get a cow, a sheep, and a chicken in these barns. That way I'm getting wool, feathers, and shakes from these animals whenever I need to go out on a new mission. In the meantime, I am adventuring, looking for upgraded chests. I know that at some point I'm going to acquire a material that's going to upgrade the level of chests that I'm getting around me, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do before I go ahead and loot any of these caves or houses that are around me. So I went to Raven's house and we destroyed the whole place. I was thinking if I got some of these late game materials, maybe it would upgrade the chests around me. We got the rift shards and the metal plates, stuff like that. And it was actually really convenient because Raven's place is right next to where I spawned. So all that stuff that you saw me doing in the beginning game is really close. Now, from this point, I still didn't get upgraded chests. So I'm thinking, you know what? Let's just go fight a brute. I need to get that gem cutter. So I headed on over to the Lost Isles. Once I got there, it was not that long before I found a brute. We used our brand new amber crossbow to take him out. It was pretty easy. I'm not really messing around with these first 3 brutes until I get the gem cutter. No hand-to-hand combat until then. So for these first few, the amber crossbow definitely came in clutch. Defeating the brute gave us our first brute scale, and from there I wanted to grab some gold and iron before I headed out. So I just skimmed through a couple of caves, really easy, and we headed home on this disgusting aircraft that I had made. This thing is all over the place. It didn't fly very well, but I needed to use something to get around. So at this point, my mind is like, man, I'm so tired of driving this little 4-wheeler. So I landed back at the Grasslands base because it was time to craft a new vehicle. And this time I was going with the stormchaser, the same stormchaser that I have a tutorial out for. I'll have that down in the description if you want to make one for yourself. But this thing was absolutely amazing from the second it was done being built. I was able to fly and drive this thing around a lot easier than that other aircraft I was using. And from here on out, it's all stormchaser. Flying around, driving around, looting houses, and fighting mobs, I was getting the full workload out of this stormchaser. And we were able to find ourselves not 1, but 2 separate brutes to finally get ourselves 3 brute scales. I decided to stop at a desert cave because we need some bright core for this gem cutter, and while I was on the inside, I figured out that my chest had upgraded. I'm not sure if it was the brute fight, but now we were getting metal plates from all of the chests we were destroying. This is perfect. We are also getting iron tools, which was a huge upgrade from before. So I was going to use this opportunity to level up my game, and we got destroyed by some dynamite in the cave. But no worries, wasn't a huge deal. Just click respawn. I have the bag staying in my inventory, so it's not a big deal. It's not like I gotta go grab my stuff. I decided to head on over to a Grasslands cave because there was a few other things that I needed before I headed back to the base. And the chests had upgraded for a second time. So now instead of getting those white chests, I was getting these grand chests. So now we're getting iron bars as well as gem tools from looting houses in caves, which was the main goal from the start, to get that up to the top as fast as possible. I was able to get my gem cutter finally, craft ourselves a regen charm. I also wanted to craft myself a new spear. I went for an emerald spear. I wanted to play around with the knockback using the gold I had gotten from the Lost Isles. We now had a pretty cool loadout. We had gem tools as well as gem weapons, and this was all within my first day on the expert mode world. Now, all we really had to do was do some building. We added a little bit of storage. We built up the area where the Storm King trophy would sit, and we even added a waterfall. All these changes, super great, and the end product, well, how about you see for yourself? Welcome everybody to my quaint little starter village. Here in the expert mode world, we've got it completely finished with all the details. So I'm going to start off by just walking around, looking at the rock wall that we put up. On this left side, we've got a waterfall as well as a little pond here. I'll be releasing a tutorial shortly on how to build one of these for yourself. But as we go around here, you see the textures that I used, blending the granite to the foundation of the place that I was building in. And it really did turn out nice. I didn't put any on the back side, but all in all, I think it turned out pretty cool. We used different types of granite walls to create different types of rock textures. And I don't know, let me know down in the comments how it all turned out, if you like the rock wall. But let's go ahead and look through some of the other stuff. We've got our farm. Now in the video, this was just 3 barns, but I went ahead and added a pen to it, giving them a nice coverage from the rain if they so desire, but also giving them a tiny little patch of food over here as well, some water, stuff like that. Just a little cute little animal pen that I think turned out pretty well. Obviously, we have our storm chaser here parked and ready to go whenever we need it. But as we make ourselves up the stairs, we're gonna really get into this little village that we built here. Starting with this waterfall, we used a ton of the Durburger pieces and a few other sets to make this happen. And I think the water turned out really nice. Obviously, that effect definitely does take hold, and it really does look like you have some water flow going on here in the small village. So I'm excited to show everybody how to build that for themselves, but let's continue on here. We have our village square. Obviously, we're at level 10 here because we have the expert mode trophy for the Grasslands. I believe our only resident here right now is Lizik. He's just chilling for the time being. Eventually, I will fill this out with one other villager. As you see, we have some tents over there for him, but here's the main base of operations that I showed you throughout the video. This is where we hung out. This is where our bed is. This is where our storage is. This is where we made all of our tools. We've got a nice little storage room here. I've been using a ton of these little thatch looking pieces. That would be the zesty molding from the tomato temple set. If you have that, it is a really nice way to round out a lot of your builds. Maybe you go from one color to the next and it's kind of a hard look. Go ahead and throw a trim piece on that and watch it completely disappear. Up here, we've just got a nice little area for the bus station, a spot to sit around the fire, and then the monument for the Grasslands Storm Trophy. Look at it in all its glory. I think this was a nice area to put it right on the top of the hill. You can kind of see it from wherever you are around, knowing that this is where we placed that trophy and this is where we defeated the Grasslands Storm Brute. It's like a nice little bow on our story here. If we go back down those stairs and go to the right, we have a little area on the other side of the waterfall. Just threw some details in, but there's one tent here for a resident. This is where Lizik is staying, but we also have another tent over here. This is where our second villager will stay, and they're just nice little cute tent homes. Nothing crazy, nothing insane. I just wanted it to kind of blend with the rest of the builds that we had here. Overall, I think it really turned out nice. Even from the sky, it looks gorgeous. All that granite trimming on the edge to make that rock wall really tied this build together. I told myself I wasn't gonna do something simple, and I really think I delivered on that promise. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of my Grasslands starter base. Regardless, our expert mode story is now leaving the Grasslands. We'll be coming back here to craft tools and do some important stuff, but we're going to the desert now for episode 2. So like I said, we're live streaming this every single time we hop onto the world. So if you want to watch the progress, definitely hit that subscribe button, turn on those noties, take it easy everybody, and I will see you in the next one.